Another college football convo with Stanford Steve. That is Stanford Steve. We're incredibly honored that we get a chance to hear his big-ass brain spew out college football knowledge every single Wednesday of the football season. It's been a fun little game. Yeah. It's been a fun little game, this entire thing here. The Talks tables here at Boss Connor and at Ty Schmidt. 9-year NFL vet and UConn Husky legend.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Darius J. Butler.
Big
And then one half of the hammer, Dahn. UConn won?
Of course.
Yeah, right. Against a team? What happened? Was it a bye week?
Would they barely beat Holy Cross?
Ball State.
Turf.
Beat Ball State.
Was it here? Was it at Ball State or was it UConn?
No, it was at UConn.
Home field advantage up there.
Yeah, had to get it done.
One of the worst.
Especially for football. You guys still on that airport up there?
No, East Hartford. Have some respect.
Terrible.
Okay.
It's the worst. That place so windy. I mean, it went Dahn, which was cool, and you guys had a good little dog pound down there.
Home field advantage.
Yeah. I guess that is a way to describe it. I had a 7-yard punt up there, so I will always hate that place.
See? Yeah.
Shank to the right, bad motherfucker. It was when I was good, too. It was like it was maybe the first miss long time. That son of a bitch went straight out of bounds.
I didn't see you kick enough when we played you guys.
Punt, you mean? Yeah. I was doing it.
Yeah, you did a lot of extra points.
Extra points, yeah.
Could have kicked it 0 yards. You're still winning.
I'm the all-time leading scorer there. Thank you to UConn. And those were one at a time. I got there the hard way. I got there the hard way. No, those are good days. Those are great days of UConn Husky football.
Yeah, sure, it was.
Donald Brown, Dan Orlovsky, Darius Butler.
Cody Brown,
Things were good. Things were good.
Yeah, great.
You guys will get there again?
Yeah,
Beat Ball State's first step back.
Exactly.
One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys college football author AP Tone is here now. Boys, Tone and Stanford Steve, I want to let you both know, we appreciate your college brains and mindsets.
Sure.
Whenever we're looking around the college football landscape, and although there's a lot of great shows that are kind of ancillary shows around college football, we thought, man, I think we should get into that game. Stanford Steve, you're the perfect guy for it. We appreciate you so much. Let's get started on this beautiful college football week. And what should we be thinking about as we head into another electrifying weekend of ball?
Ranked matchups all over the place. We thought last week's slate was great, Pat. We got a monster slate. Let's get to them. We'll be there. It's number 6 Oregon at number 3 Penn State. Both teams have dominated against inferior opponents. You see the stats. Oregon only scoring 50 a game. That's third in the NCAA. Penn State only giving up 5.7. Everybody's going to talk about how they haven't played anybody, but Oregon's been more impressive because of the offense and what Dante Moore has looked like, and everybody still is waiting to see that pro level of Drew Aller. My question to you guys is, Oregon's ranked 6, but does the lower-ranked team win this game?
Yeah, that's a good question. And obviously that's what we're all trying to figure out before Saturday.
That's right.
Especially when we're going to be amongst the whiteout, up there in Happy Valley. It's going to be awesome to get a chance to experience all of that in the vibes of a whiteout. The last time we were there, that's a noon game, because with the way Fox's schedule is, the biggest Big Ten game of the weekend is normally going to be at noon. So us having a game day opportunity at a place while also it being a whiteout is awesome. Like, I'm very excited to feel it just because we have some Penn State alum friends, AQ Shipley. His team actually takes credit for the whiteout created.
Sure.
Being created. They're like, well, our team, we were 2-0 with this thing. We started this entire thing in 2007, I believe is what he said. If we had to go back, it's one of the greatest traditions in college football. We don't get to see it nearly as much with the way things are scheduled these days. That place is going to be alive as Oregon comes in there. Drew Aller and Penn State team haven't shown much, haven't played much. Just to Stanford Steve's point, Oregon hasn't had to play that many difficult games. They have shown a lot. They've looked like they've been a little bit more explosive, a little bit better on both sides of the ball. Does that matter this weekend is what Stanford Steve and I both want to know, AP Tone.
Yeah, I mean, technically, we don't know shit about either of these teams yet. You're watching right now. You're watching Kenyon Sadiq, who was the tight end who scored 2 touchdowns against Penn State last year. If you remember, he hurdled a guy. He is awesome. He's a matchup nightmare. But Oregon has looked crisper. Neither team has played a game, I think, closer than 28 points. Oregon has looked crisper. Aller, I think, only has 4 touchdowns passing on the season, the 1 interception. Dante Moore has looked better, but I mean, neither of these teams have played anybody yet. So, how are we going to judge this? Obviously, this is a great, I saw that. This is a great coordinator game. Obviously, Jim Knowles kind of gave the Oregon fits in the playoffs last year. Not kind of, definitely gave Oregon fits in the playoffs. So what adjustments will they make there? Kotelnicki, the OC, in his second year at Penn State. Will Stein, the OC for Oregon, is great. Tosh Lapoy, the DC. Like, it's a great coordinator game. Obviously, Oregon has the advantage in the head coaching position. I think everyone kind of agrees there. But
it's also a great uni game.
Great uni game.
We don't know shit, though, so I'm very excited to watch this one.
Well, other guy, when it comes to Oregon, and last week was the first Oregon game I actually watched just because they have played poopy teams, but it was the Platypus Bowl, and who the hell doesn't
need the Platypus?
You need the Platypus Bowl. By the way, Steve, I was with you on Oregon. 34 points they win by. I've never, hated half a point more in my life, but Dante Moore, he's unbelievable. I think I didn't have any respect for him or didn't really know him going into this year because he transferred from UCLA. Is he considered like a top 5 pick right now? Because he's spinning the pill. And personally, I know the whiteout's cool. Feels like Oregon beats the piss out of Penn State. And this is just
these are Wednesday thoughts. These are Wednesday
thoughts. But don't say, whoa, other guy, you asked, what do we think's going to happen? And I'm telling you, I think Oregon is going to dog walk them because James Franklin doesn't know what's on his own burger.
Hold on.
And it's a turkey burger.
Hold on. Didn't know what the restaurant was.
Didn't know.
Problematic.
Yep.
Didn't know what was on it. Tough.
Uh-huh.
Found out what it was. Oh, yeah, it's turkey burger.
No thanks.
Sucks.
We got a cow farm, dairy farm. There's cow. I see beef. I see beef from the Penn State University. Right there, a Pennsylvania beef.
Yeah.
Oh, those are tough fucking beef.
100% grass-fed.
Absolutely. And they're walking up them hills.
Yeah.
And down them hills.
So they're strong.
And there's a lot of rain, so they're laying down and standing up and laying, and they're squatting. I mean, these are jacked cows. So he did have a turkey burger. And he didn't know exactly what was on the burger, but I'd like to think that's because he only wanted a beef burger. So he maybe doesn't eat the turkey burger as often because he said, yeah, I came with the position. Head coach of the team gets a burger at this place. They name it after me, and this is what they told me would be best for their business. And then they showed me their kids and said, we're just trying to sell some burgers for the good of our kids, and this is kind of our niche. And Coach James Franklin said, whatever the hell you want that burger to be.
Yeah.
And maybe he's a hero.
And that's why he won't win.
What?
Yeah. That's why he won't win.
He's a hero.
Because,
that situation I just laid out could be true.
It could be. It could be. You know what Dan Lanning would do? I don't give a fuck. I want a hamburger with cheese on it and bacon and all the accoutrements that I would expect from a traditional
normal
burger.
accoutrements.
You think Coach Lanning?
Yeah, I do.
He's dropping
What was that word again?
Accoutrements.
Okay.
You think Coach Lanning's
The
walking?
fixins.
The fixins.
There we go. Boom.
I do.
I mean, maybe Lanning drops that motherfucker in just normal conversation. I'm not 100%. We don't know. I don't want to judge too early.
Yeah.
But if he did go in there and say the accoutrements need to be the shredded lettuce chilled.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my God.
Tomato?
I'm not a tomato guy.
I'm a thin
I don't
tomato
like
guy.
the way that
I'm
thing
a damn
moves.
same.
Yeah.
You need the
Thin
Thin,
tomato.
nice thin
meat.
Onion
Tomato.
sometimes.
Oh, I'll do that. I like the blocked little.
Shredded.
Not the diced.
Okay.
Diced is too small. I
Yeah.
like the little chopped onions.
There you go.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, there
Chopped
you go.
onions. Like the quarter pounder with cheese.
The McDonald's onions.
Yeah.
That is the one I'm talking about.
But to Ty's point, I'm going to say 2 words, and you tell me the first thing that comes to mind. Okay? Zit. Dog. Dan Lanning.
Dan Lanning, yeah.
Turkey burger.
Okay. All right.
James Franklin.
All right, we're back to you, Stanford Steve. I don't think that's fair. James Franklin saved a family and their business, letting that turkey burger sell
And
it.
guess what? He's destroyed a Colt in Penn State. And I like that because I don't like Colts. But still, when it comes to ball,
college football.
I would love to see some good Penn State ball.
And here's how everyone feels about Penn State. Josh Pate put out a tweet last night, and it said, if you had to save the entire world, the entire fate of the world lies on if you had to pick Oregon or Penn State to win this game. Who would you pick? 21,000 votes, 74% on Oregon.
Okay, 26%.
Closer.
Penn Staters follow Josh Pate. That's what I just realized because they're certainly
That's
all
the
in.
reputation.
This is a different Penn State, though, is it not? We've talked about this. Oregon, obviously, in the tier of cash and money and NIL and everything like that. Always have been, always will be. People hold that against them. It's like they're not the only team that's like that. There's certainly a team that is like that at this point. And Penn State is certainly in that thing as well. And I don't know if anybody outside of me has been banging that drum as loudly, but that's just because I've met the people that are actually in charge of doing it, and they're like very proud of the fact, like, no, yeah, we can give money for anybody at any time for anything. And it's like, we are definitely going to be doing that for sports as well. So just watch our sports. We are very committed money-wise. So is this a different Penn State than it has been, I guess, would be the question that the 74% people don't believe in Josh Pate's poll.
Well, I think you were talking about, Pat, how we've talked about them and how they follow the model of Michigan and Ohio State and bringing their core guys back and then piecing together. But we saw dominance from those teams early in the seasons the last 2 years from Michigan and Ohio State. We haven't seen that. We wanted to see improvement from Drew Aller. His red zone numbers are not good. Threw a horrible interception against Villanova, and that's his pick on the season. He's not getting pressured. The offensive line looks fine, but it's where Aller. And I still think they didn't show everything. Everything they ran was deep. I thought a guy with his arm strength would be a better deep ball thrower. But it's the defense for me that Penn State's the difference. I think they got a bunch of crazed animals on that side. They're really deep in this NIL era where we don't see a lot of depth. The question for me is watching Reuben Bain Jr. from Miami on film the last 3 weeks and then seeing him in person last week. He's in his own tier. And then I got to hear about this denied Dennis Sutton, 33 for Penn State. He hasn't shown it. The effort, the Ole of contact, that energy from the whiteout, that's going to help the defense. So I expect to see Penn State's defense play even better in this atmosphere, and that's the difference in the game for me with picking Penn State.
A Dan Lanning defense, we assume, is always going to be great as well. Penn State defense going to be great, we always assume, especially in the modern era here. How about the offenses, though? D-Bud has a question for you, Steve.
Yeah, I know Penn State has those stable running backs behind Drew Aller, but who has the better supporting cast around these two talented quarterbacks?
I believe it's Penn State. DB. When you look at what the tight ends bring to the game for Penn State, how they use them, Kotelnicki's super creative. I get Warren was the guy last year, but they still have weapons. You got Hudson from SC at receiver. You got Pena from Syracuse, who's their fly sweep guy and runs a bunch of the short stuff. I believe Drew Aller has the assets. There's no more excuses. And on the other side, again, Dante has looked as good as anybody. Yeah, I'd put him in the top 5 quarterbacks of this year so far. He's been sensational, and he lost Evan Stewart, who was going to be their top receiver. They got a freshman in Moore. That's tremendous. Sadiq, you see here, is look at his legs. That dude is a monster.
He's got a
shin tat, right? Moore.
Yeah, I think he's got a shin tattoo. If I remember, he was jumping over a guy right in front of me, and he had a shin tattoo. I think, from what I remember, the toughness just of a shin tat. Yeah. Just so we can just make sure that it's on full display.
Take it on the shin, literally.
And literally, you have to. And he's jumping over a guy when I saw that, I think, at Penn State. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, he was.
Just watching the highlight back kind of took me back into the Big Ten championship game right in front of us. He was outrageous. Yeah. Okay, good. All right, they're using him good. I like that.
I just wonder, for Ty, can you count Dante Moore's start at Northwestern as a true first road start?
No.
They were on the lake.
Yeah, hey, that's a tough atmosphere.
There was metal bleachers like it was a high school game.
Exactly. Wind coming off, oh boy, it's crazy. It's crazy.
You think those boys playing for Oregon are used to going playing in a high school stadium on a lake out there? No way. What was that? What time was the game?
Noon.
Yeah, it was a noon one. It was a sleepy environment.
9 a.m. raining.
Bring your own juice.
Yeah, I mean that is. Yeah, I'm impressed but that thing comes out of that arm, that hand, pretty nice.
Oh, yeah.
It does.
Okay, we'll see. That's going to be a good one. All right, let's go to Iowa. Speaking of Ty, Indiana at Iowa. Indiana shut a lot of people up last week. A lot of people thought Bielema, this Illinois team, they're for real. Indiana was just a fugazi last year. There's no way that they're going to be able to run this back with Signetti. And he says, Fernando Mendoza is actually the leading candidate for a Heisman. Don't know if you know him. And you can Google that, and I believe that's accurate right now. And on that note, John Mateer, man.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I am so bummed out for John Mateer and for Oklahoma as a whole. I don't know who or how the backup quarterback situation is going to go for Oklahoma, but this dude was the leading Heisman candidate for a reason. This dude had captivated all of us. I started saying that Oklahoma was the best team in the country because of this guy, and then boom, thumb surgery, out of action for some time. It's like, that sucks for everything they had going over there. Arbuckle, the offense coordinator who came with John Mateer to Oklahoma from Washington State, obviously good offensive guru and everything. We assume they will continue to have success because of the entire team around them. But boy, that was a brand and a name that was going through the roof. Stock up and to the right quickly. And that sucks, Stanford. This sucks. For all of college football, this sucks.
Yeah, it's brutal when you start messing. The thumb. You don't know. I mean, he played the 3 quarters. They said it happened in the first quarter. How tough is that, dude? Leading the comeback drive in the fourth quarter. We were there to see him. His build is way better than I thought. His legs are when you want a quarterback to carry the ball in the SEC, I thought he was built for it, and now he gets nicked up with this deal. They do have Hawkins, the backup, who actually started against Texas last year. They have a bye, Kent State, and then Texas. So hopefully, they still have a ton of ranked teams to play on that schedule. So again, it's that fine line of making sure he's good to go, because you still got everything in front of you, and they've been as impressive as anybody in the country. I'm with you. It sucks the timing of all this for Mateer.
Okay, on that note, Fernando Mendoza now, quarterback for Indiana, Heisman favorite, and that's crazy. Obviously, a year ago at Cal, he balled out and put them onto the national stage, and then Miami goes in there and beats them in a very electrifying thriller of a finished comeback win out there. And Cal's entire program, I think, is still going to go up and to the right, but they lose a lot of their guys. Ott leaves and Mendoza leaves. Now Mendoza, Heisman Trophy favorite for the Indiana Hoosiers, who beat Illinois by 53. Didn't score 53. They beat a team that was ranked top 12, I think.
Top 10.
By 53 points. And it's like, obviously, I think the people in Indiana knew they were going to win. I think I thought they were going to win. I didn't know, but I thought they were going to win. I don't think you ever really know at this stage of the entire thing. But everybody thought Illinois' team was going to be able to prove that Indiana was a fluke for 1 year. They're seemingly all the way back. And what Cignetti's saying about Iowa, they have a lot of respect for the Hawkeyes as well in this game. This is huge, I think, for the entire Big Ten almost. Is this this is a Big Ten conversation game here. If Indiana and Iowa even start to be at the same level, it's like all of a sudden the entire conference heightened massively in a time where there's only a certain amount of spots for playoff teams. So this is huge. I don't think beating Illinois by 53 was long-term good for the Big Ten as a whole. Yeah. But Indiana becoming a powerhouse, I think, is good for the Big Ten as a whole, for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm just curious, Steve, do you think, Iowa had a pretty good win, last Friday in Piscataway. Listen, Iowa's never lost to Rutgers, and I believe I texted D-Butt. I said, listen, if Iowa gets beat by Rutgers, I'll never watch an Iowa game again, ever. And I know Rutgers isn't bad. It's just that's where I'm at, okay? As an Iowa fan, as a Big Ten guy, if you get fucking beat by Rutgers, I'm done. But they won. Then they won by 10.
So, guess what?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm very invested. And Gronowski has looked better each and every week. Ultimately, though, do we think that Indiana's going to go in there and have a similar offensive performance? Because although Iowa scored 38 last week, if this is a shootout, there's just no way Iowa can win this game, right, Steve?
Yeah, I agree. With the inaccuracies I've seen from Gronowski, now he showed me a ton in the quarterback run game. He's been sensational in that. I believe it was 3 against Rutgers, and as to your point, they needed them all. The matchup to me is Iowa's defense. Phil Parker, as good as there is, if not maybe the best that calls the defense. And now you have this Indiana offense coming in with Mendoza, 2 incompletions last week. Ball hit the ground 2 times, 5 touchdowns. The run game is averaging over 300, which is just insane. You mentioned Hemby, the transfer from Maryland. Black, the running back you see there scoring for Indiana. The issue I have for Indiana is when you look at the betting world, I feel like the world is going to be on Indiana. And as an Iowa fan, you got to love that because you trust your home field advantage. You have a capable offense. Capable offense in these circumstances has always done Iowa well. But again, the issue is Indiana. When you watch them, Altmaier had no chance, the quarterback for Illinois. It was pressure with 4 guys. It wasn't exotic blitzes. It wasn't bringing extra guys. It was 4 guys getting home time after time. So can Iowa's offense button it up? Got an extra day of prep after the Friday game in Piscataway. Never know how that goes.
Sure.
So I believe everyone will bet Indiana would take Indiana. Now they're over 7.5.
Kirk Ferentz will certainly say, hey, let's use this extra day to get better at offense. That's certainly, they'll definitely go back to
Well, to Steve's point, it's just about getting the linemen rested because that's one thing. I'm not worried about Indiana, sacking Gronowski 10 times with 4 men. Iowa has one of the best offensive lines in the Big Ten. We'll just see. Steve, I'm big on, Mendoza's great. I think Iowa needs to hit him out of bounds late, early.
Okay,
Helmet to
all right,
helmet.
all right.
No, I'm interested in the matchup though. You said IU's averaging 300 yards from
Cannot
the
emphasize
ground,
that enough.
and the Hawkeyes were giving up like 60 on the ground. So like, who that's strength on strength right there. Who do you lean to?
I mean, the way Iowa plays team defense, I kind of like it. Indiana's offensive line is better than it was last year. I will say that. They're playing, better as a unit. But, here it is. Iowa's 60.8 they gave up on the ground. The Ty's point, I'm not a favor of the extracurriculars. You know, what happens in between lines happens. But you got to make Mendoza move. You can't let him sit back there and just pick you apart. As you see, he's as accurate as there is. So what does Iowa do with how creative they get? You saw them make adjustments on the fly as Rutgers going up and down the field. So Iowa's a dangerous team at home. Four in a row they've won, but they haven't played since 21. So that's the old East-West Big Ten deal. So there's not familiarity with personnel or anything like that. So it makes it super interesting.
Completely different IU football team. It's a completely different IU football team. IU, everything, basically down there with Cignetti showing up. Is Mendoza about to be the number 1 overall pick? There's some stats coming out about this IU offense. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, IU has outscored their opponents since the start of last season by 520 points, which is the most in college football. And, Francisco Mendoza is going to be great, and I love Iowa. I don't know if it's the same Iowa defense that we're used to, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's another Mendoza playing in the fourth quarter, and that's Alberto Mendoza, who is Francisco's brother, for his little brother. Might see him in the fourth quarter in this one.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so we got a couple Mendozas playing in the game this weekend. Iowa is such a cool place. I do respect and appreciate that wave. It feels like everybody genuinely loves it.
Yeah.
How could you not?
Even the hospital side,
yeah.
Obviously that side loves it. But every fan, every player, I think, every single time, that's a nice little perspective putter in the middle of the fucking game. Mm-hmm. Like, I really appreciate that. The train that rolls in there.
Oh, yeah, the Hawkeye Express.
Right, I got a chance to experience that.
Yeah, you did.
Had a good time on the Hawkeye Express.
It's awesome.
Boy, we were boozed up on that Hawkeye Express.
Oh, yeah. Right when we got to our hotel, they served us free beer right from the hotel people.
Oh, yeah, as soon as we walked in.
I will never forget that.
There's a little baby keg just sitting on the counter of the hotel.
Yes.
You want a beer?
Hawkeye country, baby.
Sure, it's fucking 4 o'clock. Why wouldn't? Yeah, absolutely. Fuck, shit, huge game. We'll do that. It was awesome.
It was.
It was a magic. No service and no sound.
No, and the
Oh, yeah.
Of course not.
Ty, what's the place with all the bars all in an alley?
The
It was
Penn
pretty
Mall.
cool. Yes, that was awesome as well.
Yeah, and there was, obviously gas station pizza.
Convenience store, general store pizza. Okay, Casey's is not. It's more than just a gas station. It's called Casey's General Store. So let's not.
I know.
Let's not besmirch it like that.
Yeah. Sorry.
Listen, we respect good general store. We grew up right next to
Ford's, brother. Yeah, Ford's is the greatest general store
Exactly.
of all time.
So you guys know.
I used to go up there and get my little
jerky chew.
Jerky chew, absolutely. It's right
Great
across the
place.
street from Ellie's. Get your ice cream. I mean, we had a good setup there. Yeah, it was very close to Diggs' house. If I would have lived that close, I don't know how I would have survived. I had to get up 2 mountains to get to this thing. And I'll tell you what, it was worth the ride.
Yeah.
Every single time. Anyways, I love that Indiana is a team.
Yeah.
I really do. I appreciate the fact that they are back, and Cignetti's going to win. And Cignetti being a figure
He's the best.
in college football is good. I like that. Okay, let's go to the next one down the SEC. Alabama and Georgia. Obviously, huge SEC rivalry and battle. Kalen DeBoer trying to do his thing down there in Alabama, post the GOAT. What are your thoughts on this game as Georgia's favored by 3.5 down there?
Yeah, I wonder about the coaching matchup, Pat. When you look at it, DeBoer's teams have not been as good on the road, and that's the first thing that sticks out when you talk about the change of eras in Tuscaloosa. And then you see the dominance. A lot of those Coach Saban had to do with winning 8 of the last 9, but that one was a national championship after the 21 season. Both secondaries, I think, will play a key part in this game. We saw Georgia guys in coverage falling down, Tennessee receivers making plays. The last time we saw Georgia, their defensive line doesn't have 1 sack this year.
What?
And when I think about that, their defensive line doesn't have 1 sack. So it's a different.
I just watched Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis wreck a game, both on special teams and both Georgia Bulldogs. Okay, then who else is out there on the edge?
Nolan Smith.
Nolan Smith,
So what's going? Georgia forgot how to do it. What is that?
Trayvon Walker, the two guys that got drafted this year, like their sacks have been down the last few years, and it's crazy to think, like, how does that happen?
Huh. Everybody, I guess, plays for the Eagles now.
Yeah. But like Kirby. So my thing is, you think Bama and you think Georgia and you think defense, right?
Yes.
Last 5 matchups, these teams have scored 75, 51, 51, 65, and 65, 61.4 points per game. I think this game is going to be very similar. It's going to look just like Georgia and Tennessee. I think it could be a 44-41 game and the team with the last possession. Because even though they have all these great defensive players, like both of these defenses the last couple of years have big question marks, and they give up a ton of points. Last time they played, obviously, was the Ryan Williams spin catch game, which was unbelievable. Like I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair, and whoever has the ball last might win this one.
Hey, Gunner, with that was 4th down right there. That was 4th down, fourth quarter. What a throw! What an absolute! I mean. That was game winner.
Cojones.
That's over. Heupel and his boys, we beat Georgia in front of 102,000 people. Yeah. Great weekend. We just launched some new suites in one half of this stadium, going to bring in billions of dollars. I think
got recruits.
Because we have so many recruits. But instead, Gutter drops that thing on him, and it's like, nope, I don't think so. And then obviously the penalty before the kick, and then over. It's just like that turned like that in a moment. And maybe Gunner had his moment. You know, maybe that was the one for him. Let's stay down in the SEC. Obviously, a lot of internet chitter-chatter about this particular game because of relationships. We will stay away from that, of course. But it certainly is something to think about whenever you're deciding what you want to do. We actually will be chit-chatting with Lane Kiffin on today's program. Nice. Cannot wait to do that. He has his documentary coming out this evening, I do believe. And this is huge for a lot of reasons. Who's real? You know, Ole Miss last year, close to making it. Mm-hmm. Should have made it in their eyes. Obviously, good conversation. Jackson Dart about to get a start. Congrats to him as well. And then LSU, Brian Kelly. Is this the squad? Is this the year? Is this the time?
Yeah.
He's taking a couple big shots.
Is he going to survive?
Yeah. Especially against, this can be high flying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He might take a helmet to the jaw this week. Mm-hmm. He's been on the ground multiple times this year, Stanford Steve. I don't know if you've seen that in white paint. Brian Kelly both got slaughtered by a ref and 2 guys. It's 2 defensive linemen, trenches guys. So we'll see if he can make it through it. But what are your thoughts on this particular game down there?
To me, it's about LSU's offense. Their defense has shown to be they're in the conversation for the best in the country. But that offense, with the lack of run game, the lack of execution up front, that's Tony and I have talked all year. It feels like every week. Like LSU's offensive line, can they do it? Ole Miss lost a ton off a defensive line that I believe was ranked 2nd in rush yards given up last year. So can LSU run the football and keep Ole Miss and Trinidad off the field? That's the biggest question to me. It also seems pretty simple because Lane just told us to take the over. So I might just do that, sit back and watch, because that seems like the easiest thing, knowing his confidence in his abilities and what that brings to the table. But this is a great game. These teams have played unbelievable games. Last year, LSU didn't lead in the game until the final horn in overtime. And that was the coming out party for Nussmeier. Nussmeier was tremendous in leading a comeback last year against Jackson Dart. So there is plenty to like in this whale of a 3:30 slate we have on Saturday. Does LSU's defense traveling be enough for the win against Lane in that offense?
For the win, we'll see.
Steve, you said something very interesting in there. You said Trinidad, which is Trinidad Chambliss, who is the backup quarterback for Ole Miss to start the season. Simmons, who was the starter, who was the backup last year to Jackson Dart, got hurt. Trinidad Chambliss comes in. His 2 starts, he's thrown over 300 each game.
And ran.
Yes, and ran. But Simmons, I believe, is healthy again. Do you know that Lane is starting Trinidad Chambliss in this one?
I don't think you could start Simmons unless he's 100%. I mean, he brought him in what was that, 2 games? The Arkansas game?
Yes.
He was in one. He threw a touchdown pass on one leg. And with this ferocity of LSU's defense, they can get pressure with minimal guys. I think Trinidad brings more to the table because of his quarterback run game. So we don't know. I'm assuming Trinidad because of what he looked like, and I know he's 100%, but Lane will play this game all the way up until kickoff. You know that.
Where'd Chambliss go last year?
Ferris State.
Ferris State.
D2 national champion last year.
Got a ring. Yeah. You boys got one of these? That's for the good of the squad. Mm-hmm. That's for the team. Yeah. That's for the D2.
That's right.
And now that could be for the Ole Miss as well. All right, let's go to the Big Ten, last big game of the weekend as college football is about to be awesome.
Yeah, this is the most compelling game to me because we get number 1 on the road in their quarterback's first true road start. Playing in Washington, it's the loudest place I ever played in. It's serious. And on the other side, no one has talked about Damon Williams and
So
Coleman, the running back, who's an absolute stud and enjoys contact. So is this your normal Ohio State team that rolls in with 5 stars on defense, takes care of business while the offense figures it out and comes out with a win? That's to remain to be seen, because I still believe the number 1 team in the country is up for grabs. And if you ask 5 different people, you could get 5 different answers.
It's Miami.
I'll tell you what, they're a good
Yeah,
team.
I agree.
They're good.
I
Been the
agree.
most dominant.
Hey, did you see that home field advantage? They're
defense.
putting out videos of how awesome that stadium is for them. Now, they
glad they're
continue to
showing
rock, which I think Cristobal is going to do.
Yep.
It's going to continue to be special down there.
Yeah, that video you were talking about was sick. That they had of the D lineman from the sideline
Yes.
when he was just enjoying the
Bane,
entire
yeah.
atmosphere. You mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
That D lineman, it was
Bane.
electric. It looked
Yeah.
like Gladiator.
Bane
Yeah,
and
Bane.
Messi,
Bane. my
both.
bad.
Yeah, Bane.
Yeah,
He's doing.
He's doing Bane.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
literally what he's doing. Is that? Yeah, it is awesome. And then Cristobal loves that shit too. And how about him? Like, we don't want to. We just want to work. There's a lot of shit to do. It's like every answer he was given, he was talking to in the locker room.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we haven't done shit. We just want to work. Just keep doing what we're doing. It's like, all right, man. I like that you're locked in down there. What if South Florida goes?
They will. They will.
talking
I
about
think-
Miami.
Yeah,
I'm
and
talking
look,
about
there won't be a lot of people saying the U is back. The U is back. Real UN fans are not back until you're playing and winning the national championship. And they have the squad to do it. They have the coach staff to do it. But you said something there that Connor obviously reacted to. You said Washington was the loudest place you've played in. This is, Saying's first experience on the road. You didn't? I thought you did.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Tell me
There's
more
an
about
audible-
this home field advantage up in Washington. I don't think a lot of people are familiar.
Well, it's bigger than Autzen, DB.
Oh.
So, like, out there, they have these overhangs, right? So all the noise goes up off the overhangs and comes right down onto the field. And when you're on the field, all you do is look up and see these big-ass overhangs. And it's loud as hell. They used to do a thing back in the day where they would let the visiting team come out in the tunnel when the 2 teams came out of the same tunnel, and they would have Washington teams, like the special teams guys in the front, and then the whole team would come in the back. It would be a black tunnel. They would just start barking dogs like maniacs. And it was the craziest thing you've ever seen
Beautiful
or
stadium.
been around. But now the remodeling, you see the size of those overhangs.
Sick.
Yeah, the decibel, I think they still have the record, 133. We're double checking that this week. But it rocks, man. It really does. And it's always got some kind of mist or rain that you don't see coming, kind of like Miami last week, but I know you're familiar with those South Florida rainstorms. But no, it's a truly, and everything's purple. It's a really, really tough place to play. And I get into it with Oregon people all the time because I say Washington's louder because from my experiences, it definitely was.
It does look like it's built to be loud, certainly just like the Seattle Seahawks Stadium where it's built like straight up, where whenever you one yell is like actually 4 yells.
Yeah.
So it's just like a sound chamber in there, which is perfectly built, especially for a football team. That place was beautiful when we were there. There was a lot of conversations around football at that time. State of Washington.
Yep.
A lot of things that were being said to me and about me and what people wanted to do to me. So us flying over to Washington was certainly something I was a little bit worried about. Like, how's this going to go? And then they showed up. They were out there like 1 a.m., midnight, throughout the entirety. Then what's that mountain?
Mount Rainier.
Rainier is like right there in the background.
Yep.
It was a beautiful campus. And the stadium obviously got a chance to do the show from there on Friday. Glorious setup. They were very kind. Obviously, a whole new regime up there. And now they got to see if they can take on number 1 in a Big Ten battle.
I think this is, like Steve said, Damon Williams, he's awesome. Like, he can throw for 300. He could rush for 100. He's a great dual threat. He talked about Coleman, who's a really good running back. And then Denzel Boston is probably a first-round wide receiver. I think it's definitely the best offense they're going to see so far this season. Yes, they played Texas, but the Texas offense, through those first, 3 games or whatever, was not as good as this Washington offense. So it will be exciting to see. Jed Fish, in year 2, I think it was at Arizona, had the big turnaround. Michigan went to Washington last year. Now, Michigan wasn't great last year, but Washington in their first season for that turnaround wasn't great either, and they beat them 27-17. It's a tough place to play. It is a very intriguing game to see how Ohio State does on the road this weekend.
All right, let's get the hell out of here and enjoy this middle of the week,
Yeah.
On a Wednesday, what you get to do is you get to look back and say, that was a great weekend of ball. And then you also get to look forward and say, holy shit, look at the slate. Some weeks are going to be a bummer, and you're going to have to get yourself worked up over 1 or 2 games. Some weekends, like this one, they got it in spades for you, all over the place. No matter where you look, you're going to see great ball. And Stanford Steve, we appreciate you giving us great talk about ball. You're the man for this. I'll see you in Happy Valley, brother.
Sounds good. Just remember, Ohio State still has the best player in the sport, number 4.
Okay.
Nice reminder. And that's another college football convo with Stanford Steve.
Hey, Steve.